Check, check. Hello and welcome to Neshaminy High School's May Orchestra Concert, Melodies in Motion. Tonight's program includes music relating to dance and showcasing the great musical depth that this art form holds. You just heard the String Orchestra's performance Hopok by Owen Williams, which was inspired by Ukrainian folk melodies. Fun fact, a hopok is a traditional Ukrainian dance showcasing high energy moves. This next piece is of great contrast, as it is some ballet music written as incidental music for a play. Here's Ballet Number 2 from Rosamund, Princess of Cyprus, composed by Franz Schubert. Before the String Orchestra performs their last selection, please give our percussionists Dave Lebowski and Noah Kelly a round of applause. This next piece requires the two of them and our very talented 8th grader from Maple Point, Maxim Talk on accordion. Astor Piazzolla's Libertango is considered a quintessential staple to the genre of tango and accordion bandoneon standard. Maxim, why don't you give the audience a little sample of your talents before we get started? Make some noise for the Neshaminy High School String Orchestra as they will allow us a few moments as we get ready for the next ensemble. Performance of Alan Menken's Kingdom Dance from the beloved Disney animation movie Tangled. Please give another round of applause to Courtney Nyman on piano and Michael Buffard on violin. The next piece, Cabriole Dances by 20th century composer Peter Warlock, was inspired by Renaissance dances. As this is a work consisting of multiple movements, we do ask to reserve your applaud once the Symphony Strings has completed 5 movements. Thank you. taking up some salsa dance classes? Well, no need. Just improvise and show us your dance moves to this next song, Prelude and Fiesta by Eric Morales, heavily based on Latin American music styles. This song features a handful of students who will take solos that are all improvised. Another round of applause, please, for Michael Buford, Angelina Mallory, Emily Schumacher, Taylor McCoy, Kyle Kramer, Gabe Lebowski, and the NHS Symphony Strings. last piece. This waltz has been used a lot in movies, television series, and other media, perhaps most notably in the Disney animated film Sleeping Beauty. Before the Symphony Orchestra plays their next piece, Mr. O'Neill would like to highlight some of the incredible musical achievements the members of this ensemble have made this year.
Hello. Hi. How's it going? Good. It's okay. I think you can hear me fine, yes? Yes. Can we have another round of applause for our extraordinary students of the Neshaminy High School Orchestra program, please? I did want to highlight actually several students, just kind of make some noise if you've ever heard of BCMEA or PMEA or anything. Yeah, okay, cool. For those of you who don't know, essentially it's like the best musicians around. So counties, BCMEA, we come from a really, really, really large county, Bucks County, of incredible school districts like Penn Salem. I know we have representation in the house too from the Salem. Pennsbury, which is one of our guest oboists from as well. And so many other schools. But then districts puts two giant counties together, and then regions and all the way to the states, and then all the way to all Easterns, which I'll get there in a second. But the way that we're going to do this, I'm just going to name festivals, and you guys are going to stand up. Yes, are we listening? Yeah, that would make the first, which is great. Okay, BCMEA. Any BCMEA participants? PMEA District Band. PMEA District Orchestra. PMA Region Band. PMEA District, did I say band? Orchestra. Did I already say that? Oh, PMEA Region Orchestra. Okay. PMEA All States. And then All Eastern. So we are truly lucky to have incredible students in our program that really make our program thrive. So, and thank you for your support, because it would not happen without it. So let's do summer dances, shall we?
Please allow a moment for Student Orchestra to join us on stage to perform our finale.
At this time, this concert is special in many, many ways. It definitely is kind of the accumulation of all of that, all of what they learned throughout the whole year, and they get to kind of enact on it today, which is really great. For those of you who attended the concert way back in winter, I'm hoping you're noticing a substantial difference in the performance because they are doing such a good job, and I just really would like for you to give them another round of applause. The other thing that makes this concert so special is that it is a lot of our seniors' last concert tonight. And yeah, I know it's crazy, but we will use this time to recognize our seniors. The way that we're going to do this, when I announce your name, seniors, I would like you to stand up, and I would, and I'm going to talk about you for a little bit, and then we're going to keep this moving. So yeah, does that make sense, seniors? And I am frantically looking at my script, looking for it. So one moment, please. Oliver Anderson, you can wave your hand, yeah? So just to make this quicker, folks, let's save the round of applause at the end of the blurb just so we can keep this moving. He's going to Penco to study diesel, to become a diesel mechanic. And regarding his participation with music in the future, he will be making it a hobby, but will continue to learn fun songs. Oliver Anderson. Haley Allen, Moore College of Art and Design, so they can major in animation and game arts. And she plans on continuing playing as a hobby in her free time, and then she plans on taking a minor undecided. Right? Yeah? Cool. Awesome. Haley Allen. Micah Sr. plans on going to University of Maryland to study finance. He will continue to remember all the opportunities that he has had throughout high school with music and maybe join a Jewish a cappella group. He was the treasurer of the Triumph Music Honor Society, and he plans to join a fraternity in college. Micah Sr. Olivia Anderson, she plans on going to Bucks to study graphic design, which is super cool. I did not know that. That's awesome. And she will most likely continue playing as a hobby. Olivia. Francesca Capriati, University of Delaware, and she's going to major in chemistry, and she does plan on playing in college ensembles and making it a hobby. Chris Dowis is going to Westchester University to study music education. And he hopes to be a band director in the future and possibly play in other ensembles. And Tyler Davis is also going to Westchester University for music education. And he plans on participating in marching band at Westchester University. Marley Gay will be going to Temple University to study psychology. She will continue with music through marching at different WGI and DCI programs, hopefully, she says. I also hope to be a part of the Temple University drumline. She plans on volunteering at local hospitals and mental hospitals to help out and to help further her education in psychology for her degree. She also may try out for the Temple University esports team for a variety of games. Kristen Lewis is going to Penn State to study computer science, and he plans on making music a hobby and joining the campus orchestra, and he will also probably join a running club. Alyssa Loudon is going to Lehigh University. She's going to do a 4+1 master's program in chemical engineering. I could never. And she plans on participating in Marching 97 at Lehigh, as well as doing various concert and jazz bands and a potential minor in music. She is a member of Tri-M National Music Honor Society and an Eagle Scout. She also does Environmental Club here and participated in BCMEA, PMEA, and all the way to all Easterns. Alyssa Loud. Eden LaPresti is attending Mercer County Community College. I just found this information out the other day, and I think it's super, super cool. He wants to become a pilot, so he's going to study aviation flight technology, and he continues to probably play in either a college or community ensemble. Eden. I have to say this next person, her name this way. Rachel Rubo, University of Pittsburgh Pharmaceutical Sciences. She will continue to play the viola in her free time and possibly join an orchestra while she's at the university. She will be completing a 2+4 accelerated program to receive her doctorate, also, I couldn't remember, in pharmaceutical sciences. That's incredible. She also intends on continuing her passion for dance at university by joining a rec team. She is also so thankful for all the opportunities that NHSIM has given her to strengthen her playing, and the friendships she's made during her time here are invaluable. Swasti Shinde is attending Drexel University studying mechanical engineering. She will be playing at the Drexel Symphony Strings, which is official, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Round of applause. Yeah, she had to audition, by the way, so that's super cool, yeah. And she plans on continuing to play piano as a hobby. She will be doing a bachelor's and master's program, 5-year bachelor's and master's, in college, and will join an organization called Engineers Without Borders, a group that uses engineering to help communities across the world in need, which is super cool. Isabella Babishevich is going to Villanova studying chemical engineering. All these dang engineers, what the heck? She will continue to play cello in her church band and hopefully participate in the music program, which is wonderful, by the way, at Villanova. Lorelei Mindy will go to Temple University to study music education. That deserves it. That's You're not done. We're not done. She plans on attending college for music education, hopefully becoming a music educator and performer while seeking higher education in the field. She will be auditioning for Temple's Diamond Marching Band. So, Lorelei Mindy. Megan Slanker is going to Penn West, California to study psychology. She will join the college ensemble and marching band. She really, really enjoyed rock band, holiday band, and Tri-M. By the way, shout out, you should totally go to the Rock Fest concert for rock band. They are killing it. That's all Mr. Detweiler, so just follow the calendar and you'll see it. Jeremy Valverde Retana. Kutztown University Music Education. Continue to perform by being in college ensembles, DCI, and teaching students. He was in Tri-M for 3 years and had done almost every ensemble in the school, which is very valid. Colin Wigner is going to Kutztown University as well, but he is studying animation. He will be playing music as a hobby, and I just love how simple this next sentence is. I did low voice choir. Colin Wigner. Lastly, Jack Wallover is going to LaSalle University studying biology and pre-med. He will be in the pep band and jazz band in college and he would like to continue to play in small jazz groups outside of college. Jack Walliver. All seniors, rise for one more round of applause for all the hard work and dedication you had to the program. And I did want to thank everybody for your patience. This is truly something special that we do every concert. So thank you for staying and sticking through to the end. Please allow us a couple minutes to get tuned. Before we play our finale, I did want to do some thank yous. A huge thank you to Tyler Santone in the back. Yeah, right there. Oh, right there. Okay. He did the wonderful lights and does the sound for us, and we are truly grateful. I did want to shout out Elena Cass and Juliana Exner, who is doing the live stream today. I don't know if you heard them. Yeah, and special shout out to Aaron Love, who did a lovely job behind the microphone, so I didn't have to talk as much. And of course, special shout out to our wonderful volunteers tonight. Maxime Toft, who played the accordion. Wasn't he fabulous, guys? And I want you both to stand up. Ms. Schools and also Simon Kachu. Yes, stand up. They are our two oboe players for this evening. And then these are my general thank yous too. Thank you seriously to all of you in this room. I know this is kind of a use and abused statement here, but it really does take a village. 100%. We could not do this without you. We couldn't. And I really appreciate the support that you have showed us, especially for the past couple of days. And you guys rock. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. We would also like to thank the administration, specifically Michelle Burkholder and Catherine Hinshaw, for allowing us to have a wonderful music program. Ladies and gentlemen, the Neshaminy High School Orchestra program. Thank you once again for coming out tonight. Safe travels. And yeah, I'll see you to the next one.